Good morning, everyone. An exciting day in our daily Torah learning together as we are about to embark upon a new sefer, a new book that we're going to learn together from cover to cover, Be'ezus Hashem. The name of the book of the sefer is called Orchos Yosher. And Orchos Yosher is a book written by one of the greatest sages of our generation, Rav Chaim Kanievsky Shlita, who is the son of the stipler, and he is well recognized and known as what we would call the Gadol Hador, the great Torah leader of our generation. And the book that he writes is something fascinating, as we will soon see and we will discuss. But before we get into the book, in order to appreciate the amkus, the depth that this book has to offer us, and the gleanings of wisdom that we're going to find in each and every word, let's first try to understand a little bit about the author, Rav Chaim Kanievsky, just so we understand the person that is writing it and the magnificent way in which he put all of these sources and the words of the sages together. First and foremost, we should know that Rav Chaim Kanievsky today is Kanai Nahara, approximately 90 years old. He sits and he learns about 18 hours every single day. He finishes what's called Kol Torah Kula, which is the entirety of the Torah in the written word and the oral word. Oral means Shas, the Talmud of Bavli of Babylonia. It means the Shas, the Talmud of Yushalmi, Jerusalem. It means every Midrash, every Sifri, every Sifra, the Zohar. He goes through the Rambam every single year, the Shulchan Aruch he goes through every ounce of Torah that is recognized as being of prime importance in our foundations of Jewish thought. Rav Chaim Kanievsky finishes that every year, which means that he has to be learning constantly. He's finishing many, many folios and pages of Shas, of Gemara, each and every single day, of Midrashim and so on and so forth. And therefore, over the years, as he makes a siyum, he completes this every single year for who knows how many decades already. Therefore, he is an extreme expert in the words of our sages, in the words of the Torah, and it's literally on his fingertips. Without a computer, without a Google search, Rav Chaim Kanievsky in his beautiful, pure brain that he has, in his mind that is flowing and coursing with his neshama, with his soul, and with the words of Torah, everything is on total recall. And he has become one of the preeminent scholars of this generation. We haven't seen anyone like him in years, possibly decades. The stories are well known about the level of Ruach HaKodesh, of divine inspiration that he lives with on a regular level. And I'll share with you one story just that we should understand the man that we are talking about and what his great accomplishments are. Approximately 15 years ago, there was a story circulating around about Nebuch, a person in Lakewood, New Jersey, who was driving, an older fellow. He was driving on a rainy night, and he skid out of control, and unfortunately, by accident, he ran into a human being, and the car ran over him, and the human being died. The person died. Now, the person that he hit which was a very big shock and a tragedy. The person happened not to have been Jewish, but the man himself had no respite and no sleep from the fact that he killed another human being. He went to therapists, he went to psychologists, he went to great rabbanim that they should give him advice on how to deal with the situation. Nothing at all gave him what we call menuchas hanefesh, peace of mind. The fact that he took a human life was so devastating to this man. He could not sleep, he could not eat, he could not function anymore. He suggested that he send a letter to Rav Chaim Kanievsky to ask him what he should do in this particular situation. And Rav Chaim is known for sending back 1 or 2 or 3 word answers to any question that he gets. And Rav Chaim gets the letter from the man that talks about this terrible tragedy. He killed another human being, and he has no rest from it. Rav Chaim sent back a letter that said the following: Amalek. That was the only word, Amalek. The answer was Amalek, the evil nation that has risen up against the Jewish people for all generations and tried to take us away from our Father in heaven. And of most recently, we consider that the Nazis, Yamach Shemam, in Germany during the Holocaust, they were from the seed, the offspring of Amalek. Nobody understood what this answer means. We understood, and it didn't give this man any peace of mind. At the end, he couldn't no longer live in his house in the neighborhood where he used to drive and everything. Every street that he saw was too much for him to remember. So his family was helping him to look for a new house, and they found a house on the outskirts of town. And had been previously owned by an old man who had passed away suddenly. And this old man's family was selling the house, children. And the children of the man who ended up killing the person came to the house, and they began looking at it, and it was perfect, everything that their father needed. And they looked downstairs in the basement, which is very common on the East Coast, and they saw it was a nice big room, and there were boxes all over the place. I guess the people were packing up. And as they peeked in one of the boxes, they were shocked to find that there were pictures from Nazi Germany of an SS guard in all of his clothing, with all of his medallions and everything that is there. And as they look closer and closer, they see not only is the picture there, but there's also a list of all of the people that this person had kept track of that he killed in the war. And on that list, they begin to see names of their own relatives are actually on that list. And as they look closer at the picture and they look at the name, they realized this was the man that their father had accidentally killed on that rainy night as he ran into him, and the man died. And then they understood the words of Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Amalek. He told them, don't worry about the death that incurred over here, because this man was Amalek. This man was from a Nazi SS guard who did who knows how much wickedness into the world, to our nation, and even according to the story, to your very own family. So when this story came out, it was like wildfire. Everybody was amazed by what Rav Chaim Kanievsky knew from a perspective of Ruach HaKodesh, of divine inspiration, almost like prophecy. So a great Rosh Hashiva, who is a cousin of Rav Chaim Kanievsky, was here in Los Angeles around this time. And I said to him, is the story true? He said, which story? I said, this one about Amalek. So this man, who is an older man himself with a long white beard and has learned through Shas together with Rav Chaim Kanievsky, told me, he said, whether the story is true or not, he said, that's not the pella, that's not the wonder. He said, the real wonder and the real nace, the miracle about Rav Chaim Kanievsky is that with all of the obligations that he has, with all of the hundreds of people that are streaming into his house every single day to see him, to meet with him, to talk with him, to get advice, to receive blessings and brachas and strength, with all of that, and everywhere that he runs and he goes, and he's so busy with Klal Yisrael, with the Jewish people, the biggest miracle of all is that he continues to sit and learn Torah 18 hours every single day. And that's the man that we are talking about over here. And this is the sefer that he wrote, as we'll see tomorrow in the introduction, why and how he wrote this sefer. And Be'ez Hashem, we should be zeicha as we go through it together, that we should be on the pathways of the Orchos Yosher. And Orchos Yosher means the straight path. And that's what we're trying to accomplish in life. You can go to the right, you can go to the left. There's crookedness, there's pitfalls, all of those things. But at the end of the day, what a person really desires is that they should be on the Orchos Yosher, they should be on the straight path heading towards Hashem. We shall continue Be'ez Hashem tomorrow as we embark upon the book with the introduction, and from there we will go into the main body of the text. All the best. Be well.